Tonight's guest, well, his opinion definitely counts. He's over here because it is Aaron Wilson from the Houston Chronicle joining me and Daniel. Good to see you, man.
Good to be here, buddy.
Thanks for being here. Yeah,
Thanks.
love having you. All right, so Aaron, after 4 days now of Texans training camp, instant reaction from what you've seen through these first 4 days.
First thing that jumps out to me is the fact that they have a chance to have a really special receiving core. I know that's kind of obvious, but when you have DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller, KHOU all on the field together, they could be extremely explosive. They could have really the total package of receivers, and with Deshaun Watson at the controls, I think they could put up some big points.
I think for me, it's just having Deontay Foreman back and healthy. Because he said today or yesterday that he feels as good as he has since high school. And that is such a huge weapon. He can catch the ball in the backfield. He can be that 1-2 punch with Lamar Miller. That is pretty exciting. I know the O-line's a bit of a question mark, but if Foreman's back, that's going to be nice.
Yeah, and I'm actually excited about the offense, much like you were saying, as well as you, Daniel. I mean, when you consider Foreman healthy, Will Fuller healthy, KHOU, I mean, this could come down the turnpike is potentially a historic offense for this team. Now, you wrote about Aaron Colvin, this guy. What was your major takeaway from him? Because that was a very disappointing first season for Aaron Colvin.
Yeah, and when I talked to him at the end of the season, he was disappointed in everything and not being able to play in the playoff game. He was a healthy scratch. He didn't like the way he was informed. He found out from friends, the text, that he was not going to be playing in the game, and he didn't feel like he handled those situations well. A lot of it he internalized, but he said that today, or actually the other day, that he felt like he was selfish, that his ego got in the way. He said he wants to be a better teammate, better man. This was a good guy last year. I think he's been tough on himself, but he's got to play better. He's got to be healthy. This year with no high ankle sprain, maybe we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, and the opportunity is there for him to make an impact, no doubt, especially now that lost some guys. It did bring in some new bodies, but man, that's his job to take. If he wants it, he can go get it.
All right, and now let's try this. Let's do our question of the night. Aaron, what would be your most overplayed storyline at this point?
It's the offensive line.
Oh, the O-line.
The big guys.
Yeah. You're just tired of writing about them and talking about them?
I haven't heard.
I mean, it dominates all conversations. Just put the best five out there. For my money, and this is who I would put out there, I would go young. I'd have Titus Howard be the left tackle.
Really?
I would have Martinez Rankin be the left guard. I would have Nick Martin obviously still be the center. I don't think that Max Sharping is ready to start yet. When he is ready, I would have him be the right tackle instead of Chantrell Henderson, and I would keep Zach Fulton as the right guard. That is not their alignment currently. They're having Matt Khalil at left tackle, and they're having Titus Howard break in at left guard. I just want to see them get the most talented guys on the field, coach them up, and get this thing going, because eventually you're going to go that way. We're going to have these first-round picks, second-round picks, get them on the field, get them up to speed. I think that there's no reason to waste time and instead of just going with retreads. And I'm not a fan of the rookie waiting too long to play. I get those guys on the field.
All right, Daniel?
Okay, for me, I'm going to go with the guy that has the ball all the time, with Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
Every day, I feel like we have a question. Well, hey, what's Deshaun's progress like? Coach, what's Deshaun doing? Like, Deshaun's going to be fine. He's got a lot of weapons now, and they're healthy on the field. He had an offseason where he didn't have to rehab. He didn't have to prepare for the draft. He's a smart football player. He's been so his whole career. He's going to be fine. Just let him be. Let him make plays.
All right, I'm going to go, as much as I like talking about it, I'm going to do this one. No general manager, because right, Aaron, I mean, the other teams, they're going to know who to call. They're going to know what happens when a potential free agent comes on the market, right? We don't have to worry about this.
It's not that big a deal yet. In the offseason, when you have to make big picture decisions about how much you pay your free agents, yes, they have a negotiator, but someone has to tell Chris Olsen, who's an excellent negotiator, who are the guys? How do you identify it? And the big answer is all roads lead through Bill O'Brien. But I just worry about who is the guy that sets the vision. How do you make that decision? Because some of the things that they've already put in place, those were Brian Gaine things. Brian Gaine was the one that was, for example, bringing back a Chantrell Henderson, signing a Matt Khalil, bringing in a Tayshaun Gibson, not bringing back a Tyrann Mathieu. So a lot of this was under his, really his oversight. And now you have to play with those guys. And if that's not what you want, and obviously they say everything's a consensus decision, and Bill O'Brien signs off on all that, but it was Gaine's vision and his influence that led to all this. So this is the roster. you're not changing a lot right
Yeah.
now, not till next year.
You got to stay with the key parts. Quickly now, the week 2, which is quickly approaching. What are we looking forward to in this second week of training camp in a couple of days?
Jason, I want to see more KHOU. I'm really amazed by what I'm seeing from him, and he is on a good arc with the hamstring. Nothing's wrong with him this year.
Gotten a little bit bigger.
Yeah, he did. He put on a little rip.
Yeah.
He looks good. And I think if he can continue to do what he's been doing in practice, which is build this chemistry with Deshaun Watson, I'm going to go on the record right now. I think he catches about 75 passes this year.
Well, a talented receiving core can help a secondary develop. A secondary is trying to find an identity, and I'd like to see that continue through the next couple of weeks. Roby had a first couple of days out there at camp that were really good, couple of interceptions. That'll help that unit.
Yeah, I'd like to see more Will Fuller. The more we progress into camp and the healthier Will Fuller stays, it's a good thing for the Texans.
Absolutely. The guy's never played a full season, and next year they're going to pay him $10 million. And if he can be healthy this year, then they got one of the most dangerous deep threats in football. I mean, no offense to Jonathan Joseph, but man, he was like 10 yards behind him on Saturday on that touchdown. Yeah, but he can do that to a lot of corners.
All right, no offense taken. Aaron Wilson, we love having you here. Thanks for
Love
stopping
being
by.
here. Thank you.
And of course, you can read Aaron, Houston Chronicle.